What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super video. To hype up the Broly movie coming out in the English dub today, Bandai has released the red cards for Set 6 centered around Frieza and Gogeta. And I gotta tell you, some of this shit is really terrifying, and I believe a lot of this is gonna stir up the meta in an interesting way. Let's go ahead and check this shit out. Our first leader is Son Goku and Vegeta, and they are Son Goku and Vegeta BR. Their activate main says, once per turn, choose one red Goku BR or Vegeta BR from your hand, place it in the drop area, draw 2 cards, and choose up to one card in your life and add it to your hand. When your life is at 4 or less, you may draw 1 card, and then switch one of your energy to active mode and flip this card over. Awakened, we have Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, Fusion Perfected. I love how they just kind of keep trying to force it that's Gogeta's a better fusion. When this card attacks, draw 1 card. Activate battle says once per turn, choose 1 red card from your hand, place in the drop area. If there are 2 or more red Son Goku BR cards and 2 or more red Vegeta BR cards in your drop area, so you have to have 2 of each, and it's your turn, your opponent can't activate counter skills with energy cost of 2 or more for the duration of the turn, and this card gets plus 5,000 power and double strike for the duration of the turn. So it's going to stop things like preemptive strike, it's going to stop Mafuba, Enraged Gohan Awakening, Topo for anybody that still plays him. Not a terrible ability, but if it stopped counters altogether, then it would be too good. So I guess this is a good way to balance that out. Then for our second leader, we have Frieza. This leader is really interesting just because of the permanent he has. It says you can't include battle cards at energy cost of 3 or less in your deck. So it's going to be a really awkward turn 1 and turn 2 with this leader. Activate main says once per turn, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 red extra card among them, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So since the leader in this set 6 red Frieza is all about extra cards, you're going to have a lot of red extra cards in your deck, and I'm going to suggest it here because I think it's stupid if you're not going to at this point. Cabba's Awakening. It's a good combo card, forces your opponent to combo more, allows you to combo less, and that's 4 extra red extra cards, so I don't see why you wouldn't do that. This Frieza is also awakened by drawing 2 cards and not touching his energy at all, which I kind of like. Awakened, he is Golden Frieza, the Majestic Emperor. I don't know how majestic I would call a tyrannical dictator like him. His activate main says, once per turn, draw 1 card, which is kind of weird. His auto says, when this card is attacked by a battle card, you may choose 1 red Frieza's Army card from your hand and play it in your drop area. If you do, negate the attack and this skill for the duration of the turn. So he's got a built-in negate that is not a counter, so that gets around a lot of abilities right now. His activate main says once per turn draw a card, which I think is, it's kind of weird, but at the same time it fits the whole lax, annoying Frieza playstyle, kind of like Universe 7 Frieza, how you didn't have to attack and you could just kind of sit there and not do shit to your opponent. But it does seem It does seem like it counters Frieza's personality, since Frieza just loves to go in and just, you know, inflict pain upon people. For our battle cards, first up we have Harmonic Energy, Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku. He's a 3-cost, 10,000 power. His auto is Sparking 3. When you play this card from your hand, look it up to 7 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 red Vegeta BR card among them, play it in rest mode, then shuffle your deck. Now, I kind of like that it brings the card out in rest mode, but that right there suits more of a Vegito-type playstyle, which, of course, you can't use these for Vegito anyways. Activate main says, once per turn, this card gets plus 10,000 power and can attack battle cards in active mode for the duration of the turn. So, ideally, you're just going to bring out a Vegeta, you're going to trigger whatever Vegeta's ability is. Then he's going to attack for 20,000, probably KOing one of your opponent's battle cards in the process. And then at the end of the turn, you return this card to its owner's hand. A lot of the cards in set 6 for red have this kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Spirit Monster effect, where they all bounce back to your hand at the end of the turn. Which means you're going to play them, get their abilities, get to attack with them, then they're going to return back to your hand because Gogeta requires them to be in your hand to fuse with them. So it allows you to get your attacks and stuff without wasting your fusion resources. Then we've got Preemptive Strike, Super Saiyan God Son Goku. He's a 2-cost, 10,000 power with auto sparking 2. When you play this card, look it up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 Gogeta BR card or red Vegeta BR card among them and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck, and if you added a card to your hand, choose 1 card from your hand and place it in the drop area. So basically it lets you manipulate your hand, manipulate your drop area so you can get those Goku and Vegetas in the drop for your leader's ability. Once per turn, this card gets plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn, so make him 15. And at the end of your turn, return this card to its owner's hand. Then we've got a 1-drop called Son Goku prepping for fusion. He's got 10,000 power, and when you play this card, look it up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 Veku BR card or red Vegeta BR card among them, add it to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. Then at the end of the turn, return this card to its owner's hand. The Veku cards are kind of interesting, but we'll get to those in a moment. Then we've got Support Attack Son Goten. He's a 2-cost 10,000 power, and he's going to be our super combo. When you combo with this card, if your leader is red and your life is at 4 or less, draw 1 card. So probably not the super combo you're going to go with unless you really want to go with Goten. He has Son Goten BR as well, so take that into account before you do any like Gotenks type stuff with him. You won't be able to. Personally, I still think the Sparking Super Combo is the better one to run, so I'd go with Master Roshi. Then we have Harmonic Energy Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. He's a 3-cost, 10,000 power. His Activate main has Sparking 3. Switch this card to Rest Mode. Look it up to 7 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 red Son Goku BR among them. Play it, and then shuffle your deck. His other Activate main, once per turn, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring Barrier, and it gets minus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. At the end of the turn, return this card to its owner's hand. So he's got... Red has also got this power-reducing theme going for it. So it's kind of like Saiyans plus Machine Mutant slash Baby. Because there are several cards that reduce battle cards' power in this set. And it kind of seems weird, but of course a lot of them get around Barrier too. So it's going to make some people happier than others. And I know which side of this I stand on, clearly. Then we've got Preemptive Strike Super Saiyan God Vegeta. He's a 2-drop 10,000. His auto is Sparking 2. When you play this card, look it up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 Gogeta BR or red Son Goku BR. Add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. If you added a card to your hand, place 1 in the drop area. Once per turn, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring Barrier. It gets minus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. And then at the end of the turn, return this card to its owner's hand. So they all have that spirit return to its owner's hand at the end of the turn. I don't like how now they just seem to be slapping ignoring Barrier onto every card, because it kind of seems like it defeats the purpose of Barrier. I understand Barrier was too strong when it first came out, but if everything is going to ignore Barrier now, then it's no different than if your card didn't have Barrier. Then we've got our first 1-drop Vegeta, and of course, Vegito players can't use him because he is Vegeta BR. It's Vegeta prepping for fusion. He's a 1-cost 10,000 power. When you play this card, look it up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 Veku BR or 1 red Son Goku BR. Add it to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order, and then return this card to its owner's hand at the end of the turn. So, it is kind of nice that they made them 10k for 1 cost, because then at least you get a turn to attack with them before they bounce back to the hand. But so your opponent's going to have a lot of hand advantage with this new Gogeta stuff, and honestly I can see Cell just having his way with this. Then we've got Support Attack Trunks. He's a 3-cost 10,000 power. His combo power is what's interesting. It costs 1 energy to combo with him for 5,000 power, and his ability says at the end of the battle in which you combo with this card from your hand during your opponent's turn, if your leader card is red, play this card in rest mode. So, it's kind of like Double Shot Vegeta, but it has to be your opponent's turn, and it's weaker. So I'm not really sure why you'd play Trunks BR again, unless there was a very specific reason, but unless we get any, like, Gotenks BR or anything that requires that, the Double Shot Vegeta is just better. Now, when you play this card, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. Now, that ability there would be nice to be able to KOs like some little stuff on your opponent's turn, but I mean the Vegetas and the Vegeta cards, they all trigger during your turn, so this card has to trigger on your opponent's turn Unless you're just going to hard cast it for 3, which you're not going to do. But I can see some ways that this card could be useful, and I'm sure I know a few people that are going to try this one out. Then we've got Bulma from the sidelines. She's a 1-cost, 1,000 power. When you play this card, if there is a Saiyan card and you play in your battle area, draw 2 cards and choose 2 cards from your hand and place them in your drop area. So she's going to fuel not only Overwhelm if you're running it, Sparking if you're running it, and the Gogeta leader's ability as well. Then we've got Veku, Contents Under Pressure. He's a 3-cost, 15,000 power. What I don't like is his Union Fusion has 0 cost. So you just discard a red Son Goku and Vegeta BR. He can attack battle cards in active mode. When you play this card, you can't play Veku Contents Under Pressure for the duration of the turn. So luckily it is a one and done on your turn. But what's ridiculous is place this card in its owner's drop area. If your leader is a red Saiyan, choose up to 1 red Son Goku and 1 red Vegeta BR from your drop area, add them to your hand. So basically he doesn't... You don't lose anything from him. You play him for free for no energy. He's going to come in, KO a battle card, probably in active mode. If not, just any battle card. Then you're going to put him in the drop area, add the Goku and Vegeta back to your hand unless you had a better one in the drop you wanted to use. And then nothing has changed aside from the fact that your opponent is now -1 battle card, you're now -1 card. So everything kind of seems to balance out there. But it does seem kind of ridiculous that they don't have an energy cost at all. Then we've got Veku the Fragile. He's a 3-cost, 10,000 power, who also does not have a Union Fusion cost. When you play this card, you can't play Veku the Fragile for the duration of the turn. And activate main, place this card in its owner's drop area. If your leader card is red Saiyan card, choose up to 1 red Goku and 1 red Vegeta BR from your drop area, add them to your hand. Then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards that gets minus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. It's really annoying because then so you can play both Vekus in the same turn without really losing any cards. Minus 10,000 to your opponent, so you can KO a battle card with that ability. Or you can use it to weaken him, to weaken one of your opponent's battle cards, so that Fat Veku can come in and just completely wreck them. So it's kind of interesting how all these cards just kind of seem to bounce around between the board, the hand, and the drop, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on if you or your opponent are playing this deck. Then we have a Gogeta Unparalleled Fusion Warrior. Yeah. He's a 6-cost, 25,000 power. He's got Double Strike. You Union Fusion him for 4 red with a Goku and a Vegeta BR, and you draw 2 cards. You can't play this card from any area unless your leader is a Saiyan card and it's red in no other color. This card can't be KO'd and can attack battle cards in active mode. So, of course, more than likely you're going to be playing it with this Gogeta leader that comes in this set. Or maybe if you wanted to play it with, say, Red Set 2 Goku. I don't really know. It is nice that there is a restriction on him. But his abilities are nowhere near as good as the Gogeta we got in Set 5, who has no restrictions. So it's like kind of a little too late. When this card attacks a battle card, switch it to active mode. So he can attack battle cards in active mode, and he can attack twice, and he's got Double Strike. So not bad. But again, like I said, a little too late on the leader restriction there. Then we've got our first Vanilla Piccolo. He's a 2-cost, 20,000 power. Sucks that they made him red. I'm not really sure what benefit that's going to have for Namekians, but he is also Piccolo BR, so that's not going to help with the Piccolo theme either. Then we've got Frieza the Finisher. He's a 7-cost, 25,000 power. He's got Double Strike. As permanent says, if there are 5 or more red extra cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. If there are 10 or more red extra cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by an additional 1. So that right there would drop him down from a 7 to a 5, and he would only cost 2 red energy. So when you play this card, if your leader card is a red Frieza's Army card, choose all battle cards with 25,000 power or less than this card, ignoring barrier, and KO them. That's ridiculous. It's literally a board wipe, ignoring barrier, And the only way to get around these abilities at this point is Indestructible, and I'm just hoping we get more Zamasu and Goku Black support. Because Indestructible doesn't care about this shit, and you can get around it. Of course, they can still reduce your power, but, you know, all these ignoring barrier and KO shit is just, it's not going to work. This is a terrifying card, but like I said, having to run a lot of red extra cards in the deck, I already have an idea what red extra cards people are going to run, and like I said, Kaba's Awakening should definitely be one of them. Then we have Berry Blue, the Negotiator. Where they come up with these names. She's a 5 cost, 19,000 power. It's a really odd number for a 5 cost. When you play this card, if your leader card is a Red Frieza's Army, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 25,000 power or less, ignoring barrier, and gain control of it. I don't like that. It's really... There's no downside to it. There's no cost. You just play this card, and you just take control of it, and I don't think that's very nice. Especially since it ignores barrier. But, hey, that seems to be the theme. Everybody was crying about barrier, and now everything ignores barrier. So, some people got what they wanted. Then we've got Quick Shift Berry Blue. She's a 4 cost, 20,000 power, so she loses 1,000 power to get that extra boost in the previous card. Her auto says, when you combo with this card, if your leader card is red, you may choose 2 cards from your hand and shuffle them into your deck. If you do, draw 2 cards, and she's a +1 to 10,000 combo power. Then we have Loyal Kikono. He's a 4 cost, 10,000 power. When you play or combo with this card, if your leader card is a red Frieza's Army card, choose up to 1 red extra card in your drop area and add it to your hand. He is also a 1 cost to combo for 10,000 power, so ideally, I suppose you're just going to be doing stuff like this on your first few turns anyways, since you can't run battle cards less than 3 energy. Then we've got Kikono the Fledgling. He's a 4 cost, 15,000 power. When you combo with this card, if your leader card is a red Frieza's Army card, you may choose 1 card from your hand, place it in the drop area. If you do so, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So there's all this power reducing stuff. Plus, we already had power reducing stuff with previous sets with the Dr. Mew and the Machine Mutants and the baby support that we've gotten. It almost seems like there's enough cards to be able to just focus on just all that power reducing crap. It's really kind of annoying. Luckily, this card says it has to be a red Frieza's Army, and there's only 2 leaders that fit that fit those requirements. Then we have Live to Fight Another Day. It's our first red extra card. It costs 3 energy to play. And the activate main says, if your leader card is a red Frieza's Army and your opponent has 3 or more energy, draw 1 card, and for the duration of your opponent's next turn, your opponent can't play battle cards with 20,000 power or less unless they choose 3 cards from their hand and place them in the drop area as an additional cost. So basically, you play this card and you're telling your opponent, hey, you're not playing shit, because 20,000 power or less, and they only have to have 3 energy, like, you can start shutting down plays right there, and that's really kind of disgusting, especially if they don't want to discard stuff. But it does force them to have to wait until later in the game to be able to play their bigger hitters, which, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this extra card heavy Frieza deck turns out. Then we've got our next extra card is New Model Scouter. It's a 1 cost. Activate main says, look at up to 7 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 red Frieza's Army cards with energy cost of 4 or more. Among them, add them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So there should be very little chance that you actually miss on this effect. Maybe the occasional only one of, because you run so many extra cards in the deck. But honestly, I don't see that happening much. Then we've got Transcendent Strike. It's a 1 cost. Extra card says, activate main. If your leader card is red, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 20,000 power or less and KO it. So 1 energy and you just KO and shit. And it's an extra card, and it just says if your leader is red. So that's another extra card Frieza can run. I don't know why it's not if it's a red Gogeta, but hey, I've learned not to question Bandai and their decisions anymore. Then we've got, is that all you've got? So 1 cost counterattack. If your leader card is red, negate the attack. Then you may choose 1 red card from your hand, place it in your drop area. If you do so, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, and they get minus 15,000 power for the duration of the turn. Okay. Hello, baby players. Hello, Machine Mutant players. Hello, Ryan. This card, this card is Revenge Deathball on steroids, and sure, you're going to have to discard a card, but you can potentially KO 2 of your opponent's battle cards. And for what? For 1 red energy? The only restriction is leader has to be red. Like, that's actually disgusting. And when you combine this with all the other cards we've been getting, or all the other cards we have that cuts battle power, that's just, it's terrible. I don't like it. And I know he's going to call dibs on this color. Well, that's going to do it for the Series 6 Red reveal. Honestly, I'm not sure which of these I like more. The Frieza stuff looks really, really annoying, almost like a annoying variation of Control from, like, Magic the Gathering, for example. And just, I don't know how I'm going to like... I don't know how I'm going to like that archetype, especially having to play against it. The Gogeta stuff seems really cool, but like I said, it's going to generate a lot of card advantage, so I feel like Cell is going to be a decent counter to that as well. But if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys are hype for either the Broly movie coming out or this new Gogeta and Frieza stuff, make sure you hit that like button down below for us. You know, we appreciate the support. We appreciate all of our subscribers. Let me know in the comments below which cards you're most excited for, or which cards you think will be the most meta-defining, because I feel like there might be several in this set. But with that, we're going to go ahead and get the frig out of here now, and we'll see you guys in the next video.